But you know what else is the lie? You know, we've been telling everybody for years that AI is taking over, AI is coming to get us. AI is a scam. It's not really real. And I think this whole AI boom that we've been experiencing is a byproduct of the truth. If it was real, they should have a continual flow of not just innovation, but integration, even in the money market. But no, you can't. You hear this loop. AI over here is investing in this AI, and this AI is sharing with this one, and this one's over here sharing with this. It's like there's no expansion because it doesn't even exist. Like this guy makes it very simple.
Let me get this straight. The AI companies that aren't even profitable yet have bought all the RAM that hasn't been produced yet, and also all the graphics cards that haven't been produced yet, to put in all their data centers that haven't been made yet, because they theoretically can make trillions of dollars. And then our entire economy is propped up on this hope and dream. Did I get that right?
And so I don't know if you guys remember, like they're telling us, you know, RAM is for our computers, read access memories, the little RAM chips. They have to stop. A lot of these large RAM companies they supposedly said we have to stop producing RAM so average consumers can buy it because the AI companies need so much RAM that we can't provide the both. And so they need to sell all this RAM to AI companies. And then AI companies say, hey, we don't have enough investors, so we're just going to invest in each other. Hey, OpenAI is going to invest in NVIDIA, and NVIDIA is going to invest into Copilot, and Copilot is going to invest in XAI, and we're all going to buy NVIDIA, and it's all just an inner circle web of nothingness. It seems like everything's fake.
Could this be, though, the next moon landing thing? Are we at an arms race with Russia and China?
There is no China. There is no Russia.
Well, maybe there is, and they're also trying to develop AI.
You ever been to China?
No, but I've been in that area.
Where? Tibet? 7 years?
South Korea.
How do you know that was real? How do you know that just wasn't a theme park?
Well, everybody talked in a different language because I've thought about that. Like maybe I got in a plane and I got off the same plane. It didn't go anywhere. They just, there's screens on the windows because you could never really prove it. I've thought about all that. But I did end up in a location where all the signs were unreadable by mine eyes.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, how do you know that's just another part of the landmass that you're living on? It's
well, then that means I traveled somewhere because it's not the landmass I'm currently living in. I traveled somewhere.
No,
I don't care if it's Calcutta.
What I'm saying, let's assume all the landmass is really small.
So you're saying that it's a small world after all.
Right.
Yeah, I've been to Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old or new?
North.
You've also been to West Philadelphia.
Yeah. We don't talk about that.
Sore subject still, I see.
Things happen in Philly. It's not good.
I'm starting to think...
What happens in Philly stays in Philly.
I'm starting to think all the information I've been gathering has just been a curation.
You think people in India would try to fake something to get you to believe it's real?
It's looking that because it tastes good, not because, I might be tempted to do the same. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well,
they are delicious.
All I'm going to say is, how do you know that just isn't down the road?
I think that was the cow's kid.
Yeah, but how do you not...
like a stillbirth or something.
How do you not know that's over in West Virginia somewhere and they're just doing that? How do you know that's India?
Well, yeah, according to Trump, where do you say the people are eating dogs and cats?
Right next door. Another thing I was thinking that's fake is the pyramids. See, they always tell us one of the most groundbreaking inventions is the wheel. And it's round. But you don't see any round pyramids. You only see triangular pyramids. And maybe, we think that these pyramids, they tell us this is some kind of like burial thing or religious thing or whatever.
What about the Colosseum? That's roundish.
Yeah, but it's open.
Doesn't have a dome on top.
Yeah, it's open.
Not anymore. Maybe it did before.
Yeah, that's true. Could be. But what was the first structures? It wasn't the Colosseum. That's way late. They may have already been trying to play out this idea.
Yeah,
But
I forgot. Coliseum didn't even exist. It's fake too.
Well, it could have been. Yeah, look at all these videos, these movies we watch. But the triangle, maybe that was the original wheel. And it was groundbreaking. And they realized if they could get the angles up, that's how they built the pyramids. And this one guy, he takes it to the next level. He says, maybe we got it wrong and triangles are the better wheel. And if that's true, then what we realize is that the pyramids are really just a monument for the wheel. See?
That's not bad, except I'd be concerned about a certain medical condition that could occur by riding on that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got so much traction.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
look
don't,
at that.
I don't think he wants to have any kids, probably.
Probably not.
Look, regardless, this might be what the ancients found out. And look at the double pyramid. You know, this may be really the truth. But how do we know? We never get to try this on our roads.
Uncanny.
They only force us to use round wheels. And they say, oh, you can't use studs. But those are little pyramids. That's why they don't want us to use it. I think there's more to the pyramid than we're being told.
You know, it's interesting you said that. In the Epstein files, I think Jeffrey himself actually says, at a young age, kids are taught how to write. And this already dooms them from the start because then they're forced to think and go follow a certain pattern in life. And then everything around their life gets structured into that pattern. When really, these children should be more freeing. And we know what Epstein had in mind, of course.
If that's real.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Yeah.
Is that why cursive writing is so much better because it's more, flowing and flexible?
Well, see, you point out something there. That's interesting. You say that, Elder. You know what they're not teaching anymore? Is cursive.
Mm-hmm.
They just passed a law in Pennsylvania that now says they do have to teach cursive in schools in Pennsylvania.
Maybe they are trying to bring back the Declaration of Independence of 1776.
Yeah, we the people.
Philadelphia.
4
Yeah.
And 97 years ago.
There's a lot about language, like spell. Like you have to spell a word, but a word's really spells.
Mm-hmm.
And cursive is a very intricate format of spelling words.
Yeah.
There's something into cursive, and a lot of times they don't want you to know cursive.
Oh.
Well, if you're casting a spell, you use certain movements and words to cast a spell. So maybe there's something, tied up with that.
Hey, you know how spells usually have to do with a format or ingredients, just like you have to use certain letters to create a word. So you're actually creating a spell by spelling, just like you're creating a potion or a performance of a certain word function to cast a spell. But spells are usually cast by words.
Yeah, but they don't want us into all that. They want us hooked on phonics. And I have a lot of friends who are still trying to get off phonics. They've been hooked since they were a kid.
Well, they're probably deaf.
They never had a chance.
Because they can't hear.
Look at Fabulous. He got shot in the thigh.
I mean, how do you perform phonics if you can't hear? Like, that's actually hearing out the word.
Yeah, like I said,
they're biased.
Some people have all the luck.
Unless deaf people really have the truth, and they're trying to suppress us from not getting the truth, so they're trying to teach us phonics.
What if none of us can actually hear and we're having everything broadcasted directly into our brain?
Yeah, through 7G.
Wow. You guys are blowing my mind right now.
Well, because I was going to talk about in the last week's episode, University of Massachusetts has a paper that came out to say we can use human bodies as antennas for 6G because there's too much interference. So to get the signal clear enough so that you can have that signal on your device, we need to use the human body as an amplifier for the signal so it can pick up that little bit of signal that's being sent and it just doesn't get lost to noise. But maybe that's just a little tidbit of information because they know the truth is that it's all being broadcast internally anyway.
Oh, that's right. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Right. From the ceiling to the floor.
Yeah. Wow.
Right.